Alrighty. So, let's see. Alright, so we got through just listing the different zeros, the different possible zeros yesterday. So now we need to do that, but adding on the figuring out which ones actually are possible and checking to see, or not, I guess possible isn't the right word, but figuring out which ones are actual zeros and testing them. So we'll start with number 12. F of x is equal to x cubed minus 5x squared minus 22x plus 56. So, oh, I thought that was something outside the door. I was like, what was that? I was like, what is that? Well, especially because I wasn't looking and it just came from that vicinity, I was like, oh no. I was like, what? Alright, so if I want to find all possible zeros, what do I need to do first? 56 over 1. Correct. Yes, synthetic division, you do change the sign. So when it's like x minus 3, and it says you do synthetic division, then you put a positive 3 in the box. Okay, but if you're doing substitution, which is essentially what we're going to be doing here, you just stick in the number with the sign that it already has, and don't change it. Yeah, that tends to be, it's kind of like you wish it could just be one way and just like that the whole thought. It just doesn't work that way. I don't know why, it's just really unfortunate. Yeah. Because technically it's plus or minus. Yeah, they technically both of them are plus or minus. A lot of times I just wait and write them all over here because I get tired of writing them. So what are all the possible ones then? You're missing one. 6 and 9 is 54, but 7 and 8 is 56. So we need 7. I didn't hear 7, but I mean maybe you did. Okay, and just to save you time, if it's just one, you don't need to rewrite them all. Okay? If it has multiple things, you do need to rewrite them. So if it was 1 and 2 on the bottom, you would need to rewrite them. Yeah. If there was another if this was 2 or something, and then you had 2, you'd need to rewrite them all. But if it's just 1, I'm just going to say just don't worry about it to save you time. Yes. I will make sure that we find one. So this section, they all are going to have a 1 on the bottom, this particular part, and then there's another set of problems that will have a number on the bottom. So we'll do one more of this one, and then we'll do some of the other one where there's numbers on the bottom. All right, so grab your calculators and type this function into y equals. I'm trying to get it so that it's in view and not got a glare on it. Alright, so remember your y equals is up here at the left, top left. Okay, clear whatever's there. Okay. Y equals. Okay, and then there's a button up here that has little variables on it. It's underneath the word mode. It's got an X on it, so hit that, and that'll give you your X. And then this little caret button over here, that's a little up arrow looking thing. Hit that. 3. And then you have to arrow over or it'll still keep typing it up top. So then minus. Okay, and notice it's this minus sign over here, not the little negative sign that's underneath of the 3. Hit y equals. Okay. If there's anything already there, clear it. Okay, then hit X. Then the little caret thing underneath of mode. Okay. Then you need to hit this little caret thing. Okay, and that puts it up to the top so you can put an exponent in. Okay, so that's cubing it. Minus, and then 5, hit X again. And then there's a squared button already on your calculator for those ones. It's over here. It has a little X with a 2 above it. That'll automatically square whatever you have written there. No, you can use the caret thing if you want. Minus 22x plus 56. Now hit zoom. And then the number 6 for standard. At the top, the third button in the middle. Arrow to the right so it doesn't keep writing it in the exponent. Yes. No. That's what the graph looks like. Yes. Okay, so guys, I really need you guys to not talk. Okay, this section takes a long time, and there's a lot of little conversations going on, and I really don't have time to teach you how to type in an equation over and over again. Like, we've done that before. Okay? We can't spend a ton of time on this, or I can't get through all these other problems, and then you're going to end up having to just figure it out. Okay? So, go back. Y equals. Okay? You're hitting the X button. Then you're hitting the little caret button that's like an up arrow. And then typing the number 3. Then you're going to hit your right arrow button so you don't continue to type stuff in the exponent. Hit the minus sign. Hit 5. Then hit X again. And then either use the X squared button that's already on the left side of your calculator, or if you just like the caret method, you can go back over and hit the little caret button and type in a 2. And then arrow right again so it doesn't keep typing in the exponent. Minus 22. X again. Plus 56. Okay? You hit zoom 6. And you have that typed in y equals. Can you bring it to me? That's weird. Why is this doing this? X cubed minus 5x squared. Okay, so it graphed your second. Just doesn't like the first one. Let's just see something. Where is it? Okay, well, it just doesn't like Y1 apparently, so I just typed it into Y2 for you. Yes. Can you bring it? Oh, it's going to do that because your y equals has other stuff in it. So these one, oh, hold on. So like down here, all this stuff, you just need to clear those. Oh, okay. Yeah, or, yeah. I don't know. I don't even know how you got arrows in there. Invalid dimensions. Oh, you have stat plots on. So if that happens, hit second and then y equals, and then your stat plots are on, and that means there's data in there. So it won't graph a line and that. So then just hit this plots off, and then now it should do it. Oh. Graph is real. Oh wait, zoom 6. I was like, your graph is really far over. Why is your graph all the way over there? X cubed minus 5x squared minus 22x minus 56. I don't know why your graph is that far off the screen. There should be like parts of the graph over here. Okay, well now I'm just curious because this worked for Berkeley's. Oh, you have minus 56, that's why. I'll just turn that one off and you can use the other one. There you go. I didn't even realize that. I read it like 4 times. I was like, she has everything right. All right, everybody has this graph now. Aiden, can you stop tapping? Thank you. You're good. Chase, you have it? It's all one. Yeah, it just is like this. Mm-mm. It's because you have a stat plot on. So you just need to turn that off. So by hitting number 4, it'll turn them all off. And then, there you go. Mm-hmm. Yes. We could zoom out and see the whole thing, but I'm not, like, working on that right now, okay? So all we need is whatever's on the x-axis. That's the only values that we need. So you're going to hit zoom and then box. Okay, that's number 1. Now, notice your little blinker is right there in the middle somewhere. Okay, you guys, some of you that have the newer calculator probably can see it a little better. Okay, so you want to bring it down a couple and then all the way over to the left, so you're just using your arrows. Okay, just till you're all the way on the left of this, and then, yeah. Start all the way to the left of this below. Hit enter, and then use the up arrow and go up a little bit above the line. And then take it, don't hit enter again until you're all the way done, and then arrow to the right, all the way over. Okay, till you're past the other line. Okay, you want all of these to be in there. Okay, you can only hit enter once, and then when you're done at the very end, you hit it again. I hit zoom 1. Okay, arrow all the way to the left until you're past this farthest line over. Okay, and then arrow down a little bit so you're below it so you can see what's happening below it. I just literally just hit it and just till it is above somewhere. It doesn't have to be perfect. No, you do this for every single problem. Okay, you're too far over. You need to be like up here. So then go to the right a little bit. Okay, and then hit enter. And then hit the up arrow and go up till you're above the x-axis. So I just hold it usually. So that's good. So now arrow to the right. And then once you're on the other side of the blue line, hit enter again. and then just let it go. That's what you want. Just leave it there. Yep, that's what you want. Okay? Everybody's got to this point. It will change. That's what's supposed to happen, because you need to be able to see it. Okay? So now you've zoomed in, so now you can count easier and see what points we need to check. Okay? So now I can look and I can say, okay, -1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so at -4, it looks like there's one that might work, so I'm going to write down -4. Yeah. Then I'm going to look over. I'm going to 1, 2. Looks like there's a possible one at 2. And then I keep going. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Looks like there's a possible one at 7. So those are the ones that I'm going to check synthetically. Yeah, technically it's like synthetic substitution because you keep the same sign. But, yeah. No, we're not done. Because now I have to do synthetic. Once we've done all of them, yeah. Yeah, check every single possible point. So do synthetic on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on 16 numbers. No, because that would take you the whole class period, at least. All right. So now I'm going to check them by synthetic. If they equal 0 at the end, it is actually a 0. If it doesn't equal 0, then it's not one, and you can just get rid of it. Okay? I mean, I wouldn't clear it yet, just in case you need to go back. Because sometimes when you have one of those numbers that's in there where, like, it could be, like, 1/2 or maybe 2/3, okay, and you're not really sure, you're not going to want to clear it and then have to go back and redo the whole thing. Because if 2/3 doesn't work, maybe 1/2 does work, and maybe it's just eyeballing it wrong. Okay, we'll see one of those when we actually have one that's a fraction. But right now we're sticking with whole number ones to get used to it. Okay, so setting up synthetic. Okay, now this does still apply that if there was a missing term, I have to write in a 0. Okay, now on this one we're not missing any terms, so I can just write the numbers down. 1, -5, -22, and 56. And then somebody walk me through the synthetic. Okay, so -4 does work. You have to check them all. You're checking all the ones that you looked at on your graph. Okay, if for some reason you forget your calculator, it's not charged on quiz or test day, then you get to check all 16 by hand. And that would be really unfortunate. Yeah. Alright, so now we're going to check 2. So again, we're using these same numbers. Actually, well, yeah, just do that. It's easier to teach you this way. No, never mind. Ignore that. So that one also works. Alright, so then we still have to check 7. So we're going to check 7. No. Okay, and then your final answer is -4, 2, and 7. Okay, so make sure you actually write out which ones are. I'm not going to go searching for, oh, I think they wrote a check mark by this one. Okay, if one happened to not work, like let's say you estimated one and that like it didn't work, like it doesn't usually happen with the whole number ones because you can look at your calculator and be like, yeah, that one works, or no, it doesn't. Okay, but let's just say with one of the fraction ones, you tested it and you're like, oh, that didn't actually work. Just like put an X by it so you don't accidentally write it down as one of the answers. Because like if you went through and did all the work and then you just wrote it down because you didn't realize, like, oh, hey, that one actually didn't work, that's kind of unfortunate. So make sure you like clearly mark which ones are and which ones aren't, and then write all your answers together. Yeah. All right, let's do another one. Let's see. How about number 18? Okay, so this is another one that's not going to have fractions. Okay, so this is the last one we're going to do without fractions, and then we're going to do one with fractions. Alright, so it's x to the 4th minus 16x squared minus 40x minus 25. So really quick, just what do you notice about this problem? Okay, it's missing the x cubed term, so you might just want to make a note of that. Okay, just because when you go to do the synthetic, that way you don't forget it. Okay, because that would be really unfortunate if that was what threw your answer off. Yeah, so we're going to come up with all of our factors first. And then after we get all of our factors, then when we do the synthetic, we just need to write in a 0 where x cubed should be. It's technically plus or minus, so it doesn't, yeah. I mean, typically you're not going to have numbers on the bottom that are like really, really big. So, I mean, it should be, yeah. Well, I mean, in a sense you are because it's fractions, but... Alright, so what are my, how do I get my possible factors for this one? So this one ends up being nicer than I thought. Well, I mean, this is an x to the 4th problem, so it is a little harder in a sense, but it just has less numbers. You'd have to test all 6. So. Alright, so try to graph it on your own. No, we don't need that on the calculator, just so just when you do synthetic. So I just make a note of it because a lot of times that gets forgotten, because by the time you get there, we just go like, oh, I just started copying down numbers, 1, -16, -40, -25, and then all of a sudden you miss the 0, and then nothing's working out to be equal to 0, and then you're like, why is this not working? However, if you end up doing that and none of them work, that probably should be the first clue, is to go back and check that. Okay, make sure you hit zoom 6 again when you graph, okay, because we were zoomed into a small little area. Okay, and this is zoom standard. That doesn't necessarily mean you see the entire graph on your calculator, but we don't need to see the whole thing. We really only need these little small areas. It's a fraction? Well, this one shouldn't have any of those. Alright, so it should look something, like this. Okay, so now go in and box this area from this left side over to the right side. Just start over. Just hit the button wherever you need to go back to. Okay, so you have some area that's boxed in this general vicinity. Okay, so sometimes problems have repeated zeros, meaning that if we were to factor this, that might actually occur multiple times. Okay, like that value might actually occur multiple times. So even though this is a function that's raised to the fourth, and maybe we think, oh, it should have 4 zeros, it does, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're all real or that there's not any repeated ones. So in this situation, we only see 2, so we don't have to worry about 2. Okay? So where does it look like they fall on here? -1 and 5. At the door. Your watches, too. You can just throw it in the blue bin up there, blue or purple bin up there. Your watches, too, need to come off and go in there. Yeah, they don't need it anytime soon in this class. All right, everybody's phones are up here. Phones, watches. All right, I'm just going to pause right here because I don't want to keep going without them. So if you guys want to, try to go ahead and start checking it on your own, you can. Okay, actually, yeah, let's just do that. Go ahead and check these 2 numbers on your own, and then we'll wait to do the next problem until everybody's back in and everything. Yeah. Sorry, I just say that just just check the values, not checking like normal. Okay, and don't forget you're missing that x cubed term. Okay, I now have it covered up on my paper because I froze it with my calculator there. Okay, so make sure you put a 0 in for it. Yeah, Lorelai can grab it really quick. She's right here. No, as long as you don't have it out, it's fine. From the graph, where they cross the x-axis. Oh. Alright, so if you just came back, I know like people are in and out, but we're just working on checking by synthetic those numbers that we got already. -1. I mean, I did -1 times -1 earlier to be 2, so, you know, that's, it's fine. Yeah, they both do. Did you put in the zeros? As soon as you said that you did, I'm like, that's probably what you did, or you did the same thing I did where you added the two numbers instead of multiplied them. There's only 3 of them here, so. I don't remember if you were in here to start with or not. We just worked through the synthetic. I mean, they're like doing it on their own, and then we'll just check it once everybody's back and done. Yes. Oh, well, I mean, as soon as they're done with everybody in the school, then, I mean, yeah, it might be a little bit into it, but then after that, I'll just, whatever class you're in, I'm just going to bring it to you. Or once they're done, they'll make an announcement, and you can come back to the classroom and get it. Yeah. They might just wait and, like, dismiss class once they're done. I mean, they should be almost done. Yeah. I think that's all the guys I have. One's not here, but that's it. No, after the zero is a -16. Yes, I can't guarantee what kind of Band-Aid, but I do have Band-Aids. Do you want, like, one of these little... This might honestly be the best option. I usually find these, like, wrap around pretty good, and they don't come off. I don't know. If it doesn't work, come back and I'll give you another one. Oh, goodness. Alright, has everybody worked through this? You did the same thing I did. -1 times -1 is 1. I did the same thing. Huh? Yes. Alright guys, so in just a minute we'll go over this problem just so we get it in before the bell rings. I realize people are in and out, so I'll just like leave it up. Huh? It's currently like 5 till-ish. It's like fuzz in my pocket. It's like fuzz in my pocket. Some people do. Mm. That was. Alright, I'm going to put up the answer just so you guys have it. Nice. Alright, so did everybody get this? Any questions about how we got here or anything? Okay. So, there was a hair on my mic. Alright, so basically, I'm just going to go and turn this off because I don't